What's up, everybody? If you watch my videos, you know how much I love Rockville, Maryland. I've been living here for the last 16 years, and there are so many great things about living here. But it's not for everyone. So today, I'm going to go through my top reasons why you may not want to pick Rockville. So let's just dive right in. Rockville's got an amazing history. It actually goes back to 1801 when it was named after Rock Creek Park. It was later incorporated in 1860. And I don't know why, but for some reason, whenever I thought about Rockville, I thought about the Flintstones. And although some parts of Rockville are still considered historic, although maybe not that historic, most of it isn't. But my first reason why you may want to avoid Rockville is if you are thinking about renovating or adding on, you do have to deal with the city of Rockville for all your building permits and certificate of occupancy and everything having to do with that. And they are known to be much stricter and slower than other places in Maryland. So it is what it is. They're very strict on how they process their permits, but it's just something to be aware of. If you're moving to Rockville and you're thinking about adding an addition or a building or renovating, just keep in mind, Rockville is known to be a little difficult. Now, the other side of that is with the city of Rockville, since it is its own municipality and has control over its city, they offer amazing services. Everything from arts and culture to diversity plans to camps and childcare. The city of Rockville really is dedicated to helping out its residents. So they may be stricter on certain things, but the amount of services that they offer to their residents is really impressive. I'm just going to show you a list here so you can see for yourself what the city of Rockville offers us. If you want to know more about it, I'll put a link below as well. So these services are amazing, they really are, but I have a little bit of a beef with one of them. So if you live in the city of Rockville, you pay for trash recycling and leaf collection. And in theory, this sounds really great. You don't have to bag up leaves anymore and weeds. All you have to do is either rake them or blow them to the curb, and the truck will come by and vacuum them up. Sounds brilliant, right? In theory. But in my experience of living here, we never can get the day right because they have a schedule and they divide Rockville into 5 groups. You have to look and see when that truck is coming based on your group, and it'll give you the week. It won't necessarily give you the day, it'll give you the week. So we all kind of scramble to get our leaves to the curb. And the weather doesn't stop for us, so by the time the truck comes, all the leaves have blown back on the lawn, and honestly, it's so stressful. At least it is for me. But I just had to point that out. Some of the services are great, and others sound great, but in theory and practice, in my experience, not so much. Which leads me right into my next reason why you may want to avoid Rockville, and that is, in addition to paying for these services like recycling and trash and leaf collection, you also pay an additional tax to live in the city of Rockville. Rockville's not unique. It's not the only place where you pay an additional tax. You do in Gaithersburg, you do in other places. But I have to point it out because we are talking about Rockville, which I love and adore. But take a look at this tax bill, and I go into more in depth on the cost of living in Rockville in that video, but I just want to show you real quickly what I'm talking about. You can see here that you're going to pay the state property tax and a county property tax, but in addition, you also pay a Rockville property tax. So it's just something to know if you're thinking about moving to Rockville, Maryland. Here's the thing, not every Rockville address is in the city of Rockville. And that can be really confusing. So this may not be a reason why you should avoid Rockville, but it's definitely something you should know about Rockville, because not every address in Rockville, Maryland is in the city of Rockville. So in other words, not everybody who lives in Rockville, Maryland gets those services or pays that tax. It's pretty confusing to a lot of people. So I'm just going to show you this map, and this is the Rockville map, the city of Rockville. And then I'm going to put an address in that's in Rockville and show you what I'm talking about so you can see for yourself. So look here, here's the city of Rockville. And if I put this address in, 9412 Overlake, just a random address because I know it's not in the city of Rockville. But you can see the address, the postal code, everything says Rockville, Maryland. But when you go on the map, it's not there. So if we bring up the taxes for this house, they're not going to be paying that city tax, nor will they get those services. So this is something I think is really important for you to know if you're thinking about moving here. Not every address is the same. So you can always plug it in this map or ask whoever your realtor is to let you know whether you're buying a house within the city limits or not. And with Rockville being such a big city, we are the 9th biggest city in the state of Maryland, comes a lot of traffic. Like I said, we have almost 70,000 people living here. And with that does come a lot of traffic and congestion. Remember, Rockville has got an amazing location. We're so close to the district, and we're also close to Gaithersburg, where there's a lot of biotech science companies out there. So you have this amazing location, but with that does come all the commutes to the north and to the south. So it's just one of the payoffs for being so centrally located. But I gotta tell you, I wouldn't give up this location for all the traffic in the world. Now, the good news is that Rockville has 3 metro stops on the Red Line that will take you right into Washington, D.C. Shady Grove, Rockville, and Twinbrook. And that's really great if you don't want to deal with traffic. On the other hand, there's a lot of complaints on how crowded the trains do get because you have a lot of people trying to take advantage of this. So my advice is, if you're gonna take the metro, try to get out to the Shady Grove because it is the first stop. And if you get there early enough, you'll get a seat and make it a lot more comfortable. But I just wanted to point that out. We do have 3 metro stops, but there's a lot of complaining that they get very, very overcrowded. My next reason why you may want to avoid living in the city of Rockville is that it is very expensive. In fact, Rockville is 46% more expensive than the national average. Now, most of this does come from housing. You can see the median home cost in Rockville is close to $600,000. Now that doesn't mean to say you can't find more affordable housing. You can in certain parts of Rockville, but it is expensive. On the other hand, our healthcare here is less expensive than the national average. For more details on the cost of living in Rockville, check out this video. I have to point it out, it's an expensive place to live. It's in Montgomery County, and anytime you're that close to Washington, D.C., it's gonna cost you a little bit more. So just a couple more things to tell you why you may want to avoid living in Rockville, and then we'll wrap this up. If you are thinking about living here, you need to know that in the summers, it gets super hot, super buggy, and incredibly humid. You know, they say that DC was built on a swamp. I don't know if that's true, but we're right outside of DC, and I gotta tell you, it really feels that way. Inevitably, you'll turn on the news and they'll say, today it's gonna be 92, but it feels like 110, and it does. So just be aware that the summers are brutal, but on the other side, the fall and the spring, they're incredible. You get all the leaves changing in the fall, and you get all the flowers blooming in the spring. And our winters, well, they're not too bad either. You may get a little bit of snow, but it's never that bad. So summers, brutal, but the rest of the year is amazing. And if you have allergies like I do, just be aware here in Rockville, they get pretty bad, especially the pollen. It's not great. Want to know more pros and cons about living in Rockville? Check out my other videos on Rockville. I go into more in depth on different pros and cons. But I do want to say that although I did complain about Rockville in this video, I absolutely love it. We are centrally located. We have amazing weather, except for the summers. We have parks, we have recreation, we've got amazing schools. It's literally one of the best places to live, in my opinion, and also many others if you look it up on the web. And if you're thinking about moving to Rockville, well, my team and I, we would love to help you. Call, email, text, morning, afternoon, night, we got your back. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and tell a friend. I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.